What's up, guys? Today we are here today at Third Eye Collective in the secret room with my friend and guest, Jak Wilmot Disrupt from YouTube. 170,000 subscribers at the moment. It's growing, and he just had a viral hit. 15 million views in 1 week on his 7 days in VR chat. 24/7, man. What's up, Jak? How's it going?
How's it going, man? Good to be here.
Yeah, happy to have you here, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, bro. Like, how does it feel, man? How does it feel to like just get that viral hit?
It's funny. It's always like before getting a viral hit, it's like, oh, I want this thing, you know, this
the hunger,
number.
you know? Yeah.
But since getting it, it's exciting for sure. But it, you know, it's just a number. It becomes a number. So it's
right.
It's opened doors though, which is nice.
Yeah. Have you seen like something recent happen that like, I don't know, it came out of it, I guess? You know, maybe you got contacted by a couple people or like opportunity. What kind of opportunities are you seeing from this kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's been kind of cool to be able to talk to people more about like my passion, you know? Like,
yeah.
I have a huge interest in VR, obviously. So it's like people are finally like interested in hearing about the technology a little more and like the philosophy behind it. So that's always fun.
Well, I got to ask you, so what was the process of filming that 7 days in VR video? Because from my knowledge as a filmmaker or actor, whatever, it's like you edited it, you filmed it yourself, and you filmed in VR, and the effects are spectacular on there, man. It's a real sharp, good like documentary video about yourself in VR. Like, how did you come about making that? What did it take, you know? Yeah,
for sure. So for the experiment, basically just was in a headset for 7 days.
Yeah.
I could see a very low quality image of my environment, like my apartment.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you were seeing your apartment, sort of.
Yeah, it was like, it's almost like a Terminator view. So it's like this very low quality, like security cam.
Bro, is it like in red? Do you see like the lines
black and
in
white,
Terminator?
yeah,
oh man, dope. Yeah, because you were like cooking food, and I was like, how is this? What?
yeah. So it's like virtual and then pass through, which you're still in virtual reality, but you can see the environment. So while in the headset, I basically had like a 24/7 Twitch stream going. So that actually helped a lot with like getting footage, one, but also like proving that I'm actually in the headset for this long period of time.
Nice.
So from there, it was just like grabbing that footage after the week's end or at the end of each day. And then I would sort of intersplice that with like sort of vlog type footage that I would record with like a DSLR. Now,
did you do that also in VR? Like,
yeah, so
because I don't think people know exactly what is VR and what it's capable of, right?
Yeah.
And I remember one time I video edited in VR for like a short moment, and it was kind of crazy. It's like you go from a 24-inch screen to making a screen in front of you as big as you want. Can you tell people about that?
Yeah, it's trippy. So it's like there's this app called Virtual Desktop, which is essentially like, think of it as like in a custom environment. So you can be in like space, like a nebula. And then you can take your computer's monitor and resize them or move them in any way you want. So you're basically creating like your own virtual office, essentially.
Wow.
So yeah, some of the documentary was edited in that. I like transfer the footage into my computer in the headset and then jump back into the headset to edit myself in the head. It was all
that
super
sounds so like, it sounds like you're talking about the future, man. It's like that Ready Player One movie. Did you see that?
Yeah, dude,
it sounds like that.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, I don't know, is VR like kind of like the future? I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's a technology that is going to change everything about our society. And when I say change, I don't mean like we're gonna alter the way we do things. I think it's going to sort of build upon how we do things. So it's like VR right now, I think, is what iPhones and smartphones were like in 2006, you know?
Man.
When it's just coming out.
Is there a way to invest in that, man? Are you investing in that? Well, you on the cryptocurrency scene, man? You know anything about
I've been meaning to.
Bitcoin or Litecoin or anything?
I haven't researched it too much, but I've been meaning to, man.
Hey, man, at least you're not losing money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
That's cool, man. Dude, man. I guess what are the potentials of VR? Like, would you consider yourself like someone who's very fluent in just the VR world and like what you can do there, the capabilities, or would you say like I don't know? What do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in it for a couple of years, so I like to think, you know, I can kind of have a grasp on what it is, but there's so much innovation happening like in the industry right now.
Yeah.
There's sort of two sides. So like there's the VR hardware, there's the headsets, there's the controllers, like there's haptic suits that let you feel things.
That's already out?
So, yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
It's expensive, but it's out.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So there's
Wow.
this hardware innovation, and then there's also adversely this software innovation and like developer innovation. So the things that you can do are constantly being developed and constantly being explored and created.
Would you say there's like a leap every month, or like there's like just growth in it, like constantly, like it's quick, like, you know, the technology age, everything is advancing so fast, like in a year, like it's like 10 years back in the past, you know, as far as like, is VR kind of experienced that kind of, you know, evolution?
Certainly every year or so, yeah. Like one thing, like in 2016 when I first started getting into it, like talk of eye tracking, which is essentially like cameras in the headset that can track where your pupils are moving. So you can like look at a menu and open it just by looking at it.
Yeah.
That was all like, oh yeah, we'll have that in like 5 years, right? 2 years later, it's in headsets. So
Yeah.
it's just
Low-key,
constant
I kind of think
innovation.
the government already been working on it for like, you know, 20 years, and we were finally getting that technology.
I don't know, yeah.
Conspiracies.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I'm dead at it.
Yeah, man. So, how long you been making content, man? Like, what inspired you to upload your videos online?
When I was younger, like seeing YouTubers like Mitchell Davis, you remember him? Like
I remember Mitchell Davis. Yeah, man.
yeah.
Totally.
So back then, I was just trying to be like a vlogger as like a 13-year-old. Nothing going on in his
I think
life.
I saw some Minecraft videos on the channel back then.
Yeah.
6 years ago, was it?
Yeah. So, well, I had a different channel before where I would just like upload just like random videos as a kid, right? And then I moved into sort of more like Minecraft videos through high school, and kind of used that as like a platform to create films, like films that would otherwise be like super expensive to make. So like sci-fi, like we made like a feature-length film
in Minecraft.
In Minecraft, yeah.
Bro, I've always thought about that. You know, I'm on the back end. I'm always like shooting things in real life, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, it would be so cool, like if VR could get to the point, or just gaming. In fact, I was playing Spider-Man PS4, and it was like, it was so beautiful. I was like, everything you need, the lighting, all the setup is like millions of dollars. It's for free because it's a game, and if you just develop around that, maybe that's like a future path of filmmaking too, you know?
Yeah. Like
and you kind of explored that with Minecraft, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was great times in that game.
Yeah.
So that really like was like a way to kind of explore and practice storytelling. Being a poor student.
Well, from there, were you like, am I gonna go to college? Were you like planning to go to college for something around the video game community? And did that lead you in discovering VR, or how did that come about?
Yeah, so I had a huge interest more in like animated films. A huge like Pixar, DreamWorks fan. So my plan was to graduate high school and then just try to work my ass off like in the freelance industry and try to get a studio job. When I graduated high school, then like the year of senior year, I came across this video by this studio called Oculus Story Studio.
Okay.
They were talking about this new way to tell stories that combines animation and game elements. So interactive films that you can go inside of by putting on a virtual reality headset. And the minute I saw that, like it was like one of that moment where like the hair stands up on the back of your neck, and I'm like, oh, this is the path that I have to take.
It was like that your instincts.
Literally, yeah. There's very few moments in my life where I had that. So from there, I was just like, all right, just did a couple months of research and then started on the VR path.
Wow, dude. Like, how about video editing? How did you come about like learning that? You know, did that just kind of come with it, or I saw on your website there you had two things. One was La Camellia, and that was like a video game in VR, and then there was Your Name, which was like a short film about a robot, which you could put your name in or something like that.
Yeah, so sort of the first one, is Please State Your Name. It's like sort of like a Wall-E-esque sci-fi comedy about this little robot, but you can essentially, it's like a short film, an animated 3D short film.
Okay.
But rather than watching it on a screen, you put on the headset and you go inside of the film. So you're standing next to the character. You can walk around the character,
bro,
as he's playing out.
I would love to hang out with Wall-E.
Yeah.
He's like one of my favorite Disney movies.
He'd be a great friend to talk to. Yeah.
I know, right? He's just like, yo, check out my cool 50s film on dancing. And I'll be like, all right, bro.
Little cockroach running around.
Yeah, man. Did you design that too from scratch, or did you have a team that helped you out with that project?
No, yeah, just kind of started making assets. It was written originally by this guy I found on Reddit, sort of a similar theme, and so he kind of helped start he planted the seed essentially.
Right.
But yeah, animating, modeling and stuff was.
That's crazy, man. You just dived right in. Did you take a class or did you just teach yourself? Like, what was?
Yeah, it was just a lot of YouTube tutorials and.
Man, new media, bro. Like, this is the future.
Yeah, it's all at our fingertips. Man.
Yeah, I learned everything my own too, man. I just watched YouTube video. I didn't go to college. Did you go to college?
No.
Wow, high five, bro.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's like self-taught, man. Yeah, YouTube, internet. Just Google it, bro. That's the secret. Man, incredible. What about La Camellia? Am I pronouncing it right?
Yeah, La Camellia. It's essentially sort of along the same vein as the interactive or the immersive sort of film. So it's a story about this girl in sort of like a fantasy Chilean mountain village. It's based on The Alchemist.
Oh, okay. The book.
Yeah, loosely based on that. So again, it's sort of like this film that's playing out, and these little characters that are like 6 inches tall, and you're sort of this like deity in their world, observing their observations, and you can sort of interact with them and progress the story as it goes on. Yeah,
no, it's like Telltale's a little bit, right?
Yeah, they're a huge inspiration.
You can kind of like, or just an inspiration,
Yeah.
That's cool, man. So right now, with the views you have on your channel and the subscribers, like, what is your plan? Do you have something in mind, or is it all new to you? I've been doing YouTube for 6 years. For the past 3 years, I've been doing it full time. But like, have you been dedicating a lot of time to YouTube, or is this a new thing to you?
Yeah. It's for the past, I say, like 6 months. The co-founder of Disrupt and he originally hired me right out of high school.
Okay.
So he's been kind of like a mentor in the business space. So him and I started the studio, and for the past year or so, my focus has been primarily on just creating content.
Wow. Okay.
Which has been really nice to kind of have like some leeway.
The cushion.
Yeah, the cushion. So yeah, but like in terms of future stuff, it's the hope is to almost make like a technological network. So rather than just me being like, hey guys, like a vlogger or something, it's more of like a network.
I love the aesthetic, man. I love the style of the video. It's very tasteful, man. It's like that Windows, kind of like old school kind of aesthetic, feel. Love it, man. I watched your latest video. It was like recommending VR headsets, but it was like an old Mac commercial about like, what kind of Mac do you want? Do you want this one? But it was like, gave you all the tips and pros and cons about this headset, right? And I love that, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you like that? Are you like totally into like future wave, kind of like vaporwave, outrun kind of like aesthetic?
Yeah, I've been getting into it more, like some of the animes. Like, I'm not a huge anime guy.
Yeah.
Except for the past like 3 weeks. For some reason, I just started diving into it.
What anime you watching?
Started on Samurai Champloo.
Samurai Champloo, classic, man. Yeah, man.
New Jobbies and stuff.
Yeah, New Jobbies, dude. That was like music vaporwave before vaporwave was a thing. It was like it had that energy of like chilling but vibing. Yeah, man. It's like feeling super cool, super stylish, and the anime too, man. The animation in Samurai Champloo, I love that. Yeah,
art style is insane in that.
Yeah, Fu, Mugen, all of them, man. They're just.
Yeah. Do you have any other anime recommendation? Because I'm almost finished with that one.
Okay. Well, yeah.
You gotta give me like a list or something.
Bro, I got a long list. Let's see. That's a very cool anime though. And if you're looking for that kind of show, let's see, man, that's like a real one hitter, you know?
Yeah.
What did you like about that show?
So I like the awareness of like red and blue, black and white
Colors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I feel like with Western media, a lot of the stuff is just like cookie cutter. Like, this guy's good, this guy's bad. What I found in Samurai Champloo is like, you have like the two characters, and they're like, they have different traits, and they're sometimes good, sometimes bad. It's
Bro,
like
I know the exact anime you need to watch. They're finishing up their second season right now. It's Mob Psycho 100. It's on Crunchyroll.
Okay.
Watch the first season, 12 episodes, I think. Second season is about 12, 13 episodes. But have you heard of One Punch Man?
Yeah.
It's made by the same creator, Juan.
Okay.
So, you know, I think you'd like One Punch Man too, but I think Mob Psycho 100 is much more like, goes deeper into the psychology of relationships versus like One Punch Man, which is very like a cookie. It's just a funny show. It's very like in your face kind of, you know, and Mob Psycho is more about like, I guess, coming to terms with having powers, but at the same time, like, what does that mean? You know, what does it really matter? You know, how important are you? Even though it's like, you know, with this new media hype, you know, you have back in the past 10 years ago, you know, actors were like all the hype, you know, and then all of a sudden we have all these YouTubers, Twitch streamers, Twitter people, like Instagram, you know, people doing it for a living, and like they're getting the same kind of following. And it's so interesting to see the evolution of that and see how the generations will grow up with that in the future, right? Like, will YouTubers be similar to actors, or will we be our new thing that's like even more one-on-one, right?
Yeah.
Like, do kids or do people like feel the same way about actors that they used to like glorify them, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know, you know?
Well, it's interesting.
What do you think?
I always look to like the Beatles example, like
The Beatles.
sort of the first guys that like, you know, women were going crazy over those guys, like
Yeah,
full
dude.
like Beatlemania. And I wonder, I don't know if that would be possible today because we have access to so much media and there's so many different figures that you can get a perspective into.
Yeah.
Like their social media. Whereas I think with the Beatles back then, it was like they come to town and that's the only time you're going to see them, maybe in a newspaper. So it is like this weird like limbo where there's more Beatles rising up,
Right.
but not to the one extent.
Right.
if
It's
that
like,
makes sense.
as far as like being a legend like they did, it might not be as accessible, but the thing is like it's like the ocean opened up and we can all like survive on it, you know? It's like there's enough sand here for us all to make our own sand castles versus like before where you had like a slated competition, you know?
Yeah.
The competition's kind of gone, which is, I think, is a cool thing, you know, for people like us, you know, independent creators, you know?
Yeah.
Well, so that's cool to know. I didn't know Disrupt was like a team media company, I guess. Is that what you would say?
Yeah. Small media company right now.
Right. Wow. How long you guys been doing that?
Since 2016.
2016.
It started out as just me, and then the co-founder sort of came on and helped kind of make it a little more official. And then from there, we have a couple other people just across the U.S. We most work remote because we're digital. So
That's so cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. On your channel, I don't know. I just keep thinking about like the 15 million views in a week, man. It reminds me of my first million video.
Oh,
yeah. And I was like, it took a year for it to get to that point though. But like what it taught me was what worked and what didn't, right?
Yeah. What
Man.
did you find worked? And
I found what worked was like finding my niche, because before then I had made like, I've been a jack of all trades. I would make music videos, vlogs, skits, fan films, all on the same channel. And what it taught me is like, no, man, you should kind of maybe focus and make content that's more niche to this audience. And if you want to do something else, then create another channel for that, you know, which you see a lot of like higher, like upper tier YouTubers actually doing. You know, they'll have the vlog channel, their main channel for the skit, and now they're making their podcast channel where they're just talking, and you're seeing them all like branch out. And I think that's it makes sense. You know, YouTube is like a TV channel, but like not on TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's very much like, I want to watch this show that I like a lot. So let me go to his YouTube channel and watch it, you know? And then like, oh man, I like the dude. Let me just watch his vlogs, you know? And then, you know, then people who just like vlogs watches his vlogs, and people who likes his skits watch his skits, you know? So that's what it taught me. And so I went from like making all these random kind of videos to just like focusing in on like making a web series and making like, focusing on the cosplay niche and creating content around that, you know? And building that community.
Yeah.
But you know, I do have future sights in making another kind of channel.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
For like the past 6 months, I've been talking to my friend Ben. I've been like, bro, I want to get into VR, man. I've been watching this guy's videos. His name is Seymour. Have you heard of him?
Yeah.
On you know, it's like live good, die great, right? What do you think about other VR channels like that, man?
It's dope, man. I love seeing this new technology that's cool in and of itself, but then to see creators doing things with it.
Yeah, use it
like,
to tell a story that's like inspirational, sad,
Exactly.
but happy. It's like, it felt like a real experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
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 Virtual reality, but like.
Yeah. Well, when you're talking to people, like in a multiplayer game like Mr. Emmer does,
Yeah.
it's like people open up so much easier, I think, because you're behind an avatar, but you just, it's almost conducive to having like a deep conversation. And it's funny, I was watching this video from, it was like the 80s.
Yeah.
And it was this developer, she was talking about having conversations over like AOL. She was saying people open up much easier. It's almost like a direct mirror of early internet to virtual reality now.
I remember being on Instant Messenger, AIM, right?
Yeah.
I was like, being a kid, yeah, that's really how you would just talk and send all these like LOLs, emojis, or whatever, and you would have a real good conversation, you know, back and forth. And
you'd fuck around too, but
yeah. Oh, that'd be most of the time. It's just,
Yeah.
you know, before memes, you know, but then, you know, now we're in the age of just sharing the memes around, right? That's cool, man. Do you see yourself making videos, I guess, in that kind of platform, like VR chat sometimes, you know, on your channel? Just let people know, or, you know, I think I saw this one video you made, and it was kind of exploring different videos or just like things you could do in VR, like VR yoga, and like, I don't know. Yeah, and I thought that was so gnarly, man. Like, it really is more than just a video game. You know, it's similar to like a lifestyle, or not just like an intense sport that kind of touches all facets, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. I found that VR is almost like just a mirror of what we're doing now. Like, we're starting to see things pop up like yoga, but we're also seeing things like jumping into a weird VR room with like an anime girl or something.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my gosh.
There's this like contrast of human experiences that are happening in the headset. So what I found is really fun is to almost try to offer a cam into that world, into the next digital reality,
right,
and translate it onto like a YouTube video.
Dude, yeah,
It's
man.
a trip, man.
It is trippy, man. I wonder if someone will make like some kind of psychedelic trip place where that you can go, or maybe there already is. And it's just you're looking around and like, oh my god,
Yeah.
what is this, space aliens? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, me and a couple of friends we jumped into jetpacks, and we went into this fractal world,
bro.
That's infinite, and we just flowed through. It's like, explaining that right now, we probably sound crazy, but like, it's
I'm sure we can find some footage like online and just pull it up, right? Just like slap it on.
Yeah, it's
oh
crazy.
man, dude, I want to see that on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're gonna do that, but
That was rad. So have you tried VR?
I've tried it like once or twice.
Yeah.
My friend JD, he let me play around with his, and we played this video game where like you move around and you like throw knives and shoot people, right? And it kind of like tracks your motion. When you move, they move, and so you can really like strategically like.
Oh yeah. Is it the one with like the red guys?
Yeah, it's red and white.
Yeah, super hot.
Yeah, super hot. Is that what it's called? Yeah, I really enjoyed that, but I got super exhausted. I was like, man, this game is like, It's just very physical, more than you would think, right?
Yeah.
And then I video edited in Premiere Pro through VR, and bro, I was like, if someone would just like make this a little bit more accessible, it'd be like 100% like ready to go, you know? But still, it worked pretty good, you know? You can cut, move things around, slice, you know?
Yeah.
Simple stuff.
Did you notice your time perception? Like, did it feel off when you were in the headset? Or did you not know?
I mean, I only did it for like 30 minutes, but I could easily see like, I mean, especially you who did it for like 7 days, like, how did you kind of keep track? Did it feel weird? Like, did you know when it was daytime or nighttime? Or like, what did you do in between? Like, how did you sleep?
Yeah. So it was like the first couple days. So I blacked out all the windows in my apartment.
Okay.
First off, so I couldn't see people that were watching the live stream, couldn't see what time it was other than just a number. So I wanted to test if I could keep my circadian rhythm going by putting in like virtual environments. So like when it's night, I would put on like a night environment, or when it's day, I'd put on like a day environment.
Yeah.
And that worked for like the first couple days. But by like day 4, I found myself just like, and not even really caring about like sleeping.
That's interesting.
Like because I had created my own environment, my own self-contained thing that everything I needed was in that environment. It was like, okay, maybe I have a call on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Until then, I have 50 hours. I'm just going to kind of do what I want. Like I'd play games or I'd answer emails when I wanted.
Wow.
So I don't know how healthy that is.
Are you going to go back? I mean, I guess that's the question. Are you going to go back in and do it even longer?
I think I'm going to let someone else.
You're like 1 month in VR. Dun, dun, dun. Like using this app right now to get groceries because you can't bring it outside, right?
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, man.
And I'll let someone else take the reins on that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's cool. Like back in the day, Nintendo kind of did Wii Fit and stuff, and kind of like very similar to like trying to bring the virtual world to reality, right? Getting people to work out and be active. Do you see Nintendo taking a dive into VR, you know, sometime soon?
So they announced that the Switch, like they're adding sort of the Nintendo Labo kits, I think, where you can put on like goggles and put the Nintendo Switch in it to get like a VR experience. I don't know how good it's going to be, but I hope that they'll create like an actual VR system. It's like playing like Mario in VR.
Mario, Legend of Zelda, bro, Super Metroid in VR, that'd be like the scary experience, you know?
Right? Pretty terrifying.
I mean, are there games like that already on there though?
So there's like an emulator. I was watching a guy, he went into Mario Kart and he put on a VR headset.
Yeah.
And so you have the POV of Mario Kart in like,
and you're just
he put in like a race chair, so he's like fully in Mario Kart VR.
Man, dude, it blows my mind that we're there.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the future is now. And all you need to do is just get a VR headset. Yeah, man. How about you hit any gaming milestone while in VR?
Well, not necessarily VR. We're talking childhood.
Okay, childhood. Okay.
Yeah, I was actually never one to really like complete games. I feel like I would play a game, get the essence of it, the energy of it, but very rarely would I complete one, except Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I think I played that
Modern Warfare, man. The good stuff.
I played through that campaign like 3 times. Just for the story and stuff.
Man, 3 times.
Did you get all the intel?
Did you?
I didn't. No,
you know,
just the campaigns.
Like when did you like start playing video games and it like hit you that you know it was a form of escapism or just like joy, and like when did you discover that, you know? And how was it?
So I remember vividly my dad playing GoldenEye on the N64.
Oh yeah, man.
And he like, I'm pretty sure he 100%ed it. And like me and my brother would just gather around the TV, like watching him play this amazing game.
Right.
So that was like, I think that's one of my first gaming memories. That and sort of Super Mario on the.
Man, your dad was a gamer.
Yeah, only that game.
Only that game.
Because he's a huge James Bond fan. Yeah.
Okay.
He'll play a couple other games like Wii Sports, but yeah, from there like. I'd play like Nintendo here and there, but RuneScape.
Oh, I remember RuneScape.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. That was like one of my first like like come home from school, load up the computer and just play RuneScape.
Yeah, man. Go fishing,
Yeah.
beat up some goblins, to take some loot from dead people. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Go
man.
to the wildland.
Yeah.
So that
It's like an MMO right there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that sort of nurtured my MMO fascination, which then translated to like Minecraft and that aspect of like playing online with other people.
Right.
That definitely turned into like a form of escapism, but I would say positive escapism.
Right. It turned into art, really. You were inspired by it to you know, like make it more than just a game, but you created like content out of it, you know?
Yeah. It became that, but in the beginning it was a lot of like, I'm a pretty like introverted guy.
Yeah.
So like through high school, I would just go to school and then come home, right?
Right.
So all of my friends, even friends to this day, were made through online gaming, like my best friends. So it was an escapism into social activities,
social interactions.
Yeah. And then through that, they would help me create videos, and it turned into more creative endeavors. So that being said, there
like
were
people around the world, you would say, the U.S.
Yeah, U.S. Some friends in like Germany, Sweden.
Nice.
It's really cool. And even there, like I feel like 100 years ago, 50 years ago, even communicating, like you and I, if we were living in the U.S., we probably wouldn't really get to communicate with people outside of the U.S. other than like newspapers or news articles.
Right. It's like you're not going to be sending a letter overseas.
Yeah.
You know, if you do, it's like once a month, you guys are having like one dialogue.
Yeah.
You know?
They're putting the letters on like donkey carts and like,
Yeah.
going across the so it's almost like our world now is open. It's like
instant contact, you know?
Yeah. It's almost like the concept of tribalism, like these specific tribes of people with common interest. I feel like now the world is the tribe, and then we have the internet is the tribe, and then we have these specific communities within the internet that are even more tribalized. And it's like we're so connected that it's easier to find
your tribe,
people with common interests.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. It's like even in my scene, the cosplay scene, it's like it's a group. And like, but people like find that group and they stay in it, you know, and you know, they do different things. But yeah, I totally get what you're saying. It's like the niche of it, you know. VR in itself is kind of like a niche, you know. Like maybe it's not for everyone, but you know, there's a lot of people who do it, you know.
Yeah.
Is that the niche you're finding yourself in?
What's interesting though about VR, I think, is that any industry or any niche, I think, can be benefited from VR, or can at least be like introduced. Like you think of like the medical industry,
right?
The concept of a doctor being able to pull up like a hologram of a diagram of a human body and jump into the human body in a virtual reality setting.
You're like, I'm already thinking about it, man. It's kind of like it's blowing my mind.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, it's like a new way to teach even, you know. It's like classes could be through VR, you know, new way of homeschooling, yo.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoa, man.
It's like, so there's these different industries, architecture even, visualizing a building before it's even being created, walking through a room before a dime is spent on construction.
Google Maps, you've been on Google Maps in VR.
Yeah.
I've seen something like that, man.
Yeah. So it's like these different niches. We benefit it. I think it comes back to just like the early days of computing, the early days of phones.
Yeah.
Like who would have predicted that we'd have tons of apps that span across different categories?
Right. Well, I mean, have you seen a movie in VR?
I have.
Oh yeah. Well, what was it? What's your favorite movie, man?
Well, I watched Hardcore Henry. Do you remember that movie?
No, I don't
it's
know.
It's like a POV action movie.
Oh, okay, yeah, I heard about that one. I never saw it, but like I remember like seeing him jump out of a plane and do lots of parkour stuff.
Yeah, it was
right.
Rad.
Was it pretty good?
Yeah, it was good, but I watched it in VR, so it was like this extra meta.
It was
thing.
like it was like that extra bit of like spice on top. Yeah.
It's cool though. You can have like a private movie theater to yourself, and like a huge screen. It's like, wow,
man. What's the movie that you would say drives a lot of your inspiration from? You know.
Well, early on is Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much anything by him. Lord of the Rings for sure.
Right.
I grew up on that.
The Tolkien books, you know.
Yeah. Blade Runner is another one of my favorites.
Love it, man. The colors. What do you think about the new one, 2099 Blade Runner?
It was good. I never finished it though. Like, I love the movie, but I just never. I don't know why.
I mean, it is kind of it extends a long time, right?
Yeah.
You know, I remember I saw it twice. One with my buddy Ben, and then like one in the theater. And it's a long movie, but you know, it's kind of like an art. You know, like every scene is like a painting. You know? Yeah, man.
It's Roger Deakins, I think.
Roger Deakins?
Or the DP, yeah, he did a couple of movies.
Nice,
great
man.
art. Yeah, I'll have to recheck it. It's good.
I enjoyed it. I definitely do agree. It's kind of long, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a slow burner, but it's like I just like the art of it. Like I like the concept of it. Very similar to Alita Battle Angels. I just watched that.
Oh, is that one good?
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
It's incredible. I loved it. Like, I just think the concept of it, and then like the art of it, you can see where it draws from something else besides the, you know, kind of like what you're saying, US cookie cutter kind of bases. Like it's based off of manga in Japan. So you're already seeing like this other kind of, I wouldn't say type of storytelling, but like a different kind of story about a character and like her influence from like being like cybernetic, right? Cyborgs and just being in the future. And watching the movie, it felt like I was seeing manga panels and just like going through it, and like it was just perfect, right? It was like they obviously a love letter to what the original creator wanted, right? What he was trying to make. And so I like that, you know. It just felt like, and it was quick, you know. It went through it fast, you know. Didn't take too much time, but it took just the right amount of time to like tell the story and really make you feel connected to the characters.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
it's cool seeing these different art styles come up. Like, what's that movie on Netflix? Love, Death, Robots.
I've heard about that. Everybody's talking about it. I haven't seen it yet.
Really freaking good, dude.
Yeah, did you
really
binge it?
I haven't. We've been watching it. Me and my friends, like, you know, intermittently through the nights. But what it is like it's almost like a short film.
Yeah.
Each episode, but each episode has like a different art style. It's made by like a different studio, different director. That being said, it's cool to see like these different art styles start to come out in media that like, I feel like back to 10 years ago, there were some like unique films, but even like Alita Battle Angel, like the art style on that looks insane.
Yeah, it's like it would have never been made really, you know, until this age where they're like, maybe it'll work.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a lot of, seems like the industry and now is just kind of being a little more open to. Which is
interesting because like I hear from a lot of people is like the comic book Marvel DC age, and a lot of people aren't happy about that. But at the same time, maybe it really does open it up as far as like, you know, platforms like Netflix or Amazon where you can, or Hulu, where you can have its own creation, right? And just kind of make something and see like the response from it, you know? And hopefully they make a profit. I don't know.
Yeah.
But what was it? Love, Death, and Robots?
Yeah, Love, Death, and Robots.
Like something like that being made. It's like, that's cool. I don't know if we would have saw a TV show like that, right?
Yeah.
And definitely maybe that's fueled by like Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, all these kind of like shows about the mystical, you know, coming out feeds into that, you know? Yeah.
I always wonder as well if it's maybe like the generation change that we're seeing. Like, I think a lot of like the older TV executives and the older Hollywood types, like
we're not seeing sitcoms anymore, that's for sure. You know,
no laugh tracks.
Yeah, no laugh tracks.
I wonder if the executives of Netflix, maybe they're getting a little smarter because they're from a different generation than like the, you know,
I hope so.
Baby boomers. Yeah, I hope. Yeah. It's it'll be interesting.
I mean, I definitely do see a change. That's a fact. You know, they're just new shows all the time. You know, literally like every month there's like a new show that's probably pretty good, you know, instead of it being like a new episodes of Friends, a new episodes of Seinfeld, which I like back in the day when I was a kid, but like definitely these shows are definitely more catered. On Hulu, me and my girlfriend been watching Future Man.
Oh yeah.
So and it's nice, man. It's just it's in your face, you know. It's like very obvious they're like having all these cliches and tropes, and they're just giving it to you, and they're just like, they know what they are, you know. They're very aware, and it's like they're just having fun with it. And I love watching that, you know. And it's all about time travel too, which I
love. I'll have to check it out.
So like, Here, let me ask you, I kind of wanted to make a channel similar to VR. What would your advice be on people who might be passionate about getting into VR, maybe making content around there,
So what I've been trying to do is like take the media that I like currently, like the traditional media that I like as an example, documentaries, and try to recreate documentaries in VR. Like see how I can film a documentary in VR about real people in VR.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's almost like we're trying to now translate the stories that made books work, the stories that made movies work into VR.
That's so gnarly. That concept is like, if you follow the ages, it started with books, these stories, these tales, one story told to another person. Then we saw the introduction of film, and that was like the recreation of all those books. And now we're hitting this internet age where like we're getting those films and they're being retold as comic book heroes. All those heist films are like the Ant-Man, all of those like romantic stories are like, Hulk and Black Widow or whatever, It's so interesting. And maybe VR is the next step of that, where it's like, we're seeing films adapted into this like 360 point of view, all around you. I love that. I love that, man. That was, wow.
Yeah. I'd even argue that that's maybe the job of an artist is to take what inspires him or her and then put it into a medium, right?
Yeah.
That's possibly the definition. So it's kind of cool to like explore this new technology. I don't think VR is the one and only medium, right? But it's definitely like a new medium that has so much potential. So
bro, you're like, I'm so excited right now. It's like, it sounds like magic, it's like, it's right there, yeah, man. I guess since the whole world is listening to you right now, what do you have to say? Do you have any last words you'd like to tell the world,
Yeah, for sure, man. I think, I always see sort of the two sides of VR. Like there's the potential for it to lead us into addiction, dopamine rush, we'll see like the social media addiction times 10 in VR, but it also can present amazing things, beautiful things that can be created and experienced in VR. So I think having an awareness of the two sides and viewing it from an observation perspective is going to be key to adopting the medium and utilizing it.
Just like AI, man.
Exactly.
All right, man. What do you think about we go out and get some pizza right now?
Oh, yeah, dude. Only if it's Hawaiian.
Hawaiian? I'm down, man. Let's try it.
Cheers.